Hello, everyone, and welcome to my Bachelor Nation 24 channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The Golden Bachelorette. I think Joan Vassos and Chock Chapple are smart to put their wedding on hold. They have a lot going on. The Golden Bachelorette alums Joan Vassos and Chock Chapple have postponed their wedding plans. And while this development may be disappointing for fans, it's best for the couple's success. Joan and Chock found love in the dating competition, with Chock's patent Chock-O noodle soup earning him the season's first one-on-one date. By the conclusion of this Disneyland trip, Joan and Chock's chemistry was tangible. Their connection grew throughout filming, and in the finale, Joan gave Chock her final rose. Chock eagerly accepted and proposed to the lead. The couple have been engaged since. Their stint on the Golden Bachelorette season 1 has opened doors for the couple. Joan and Chock have built media empires and established themselves as reputable influencers. The couple has been accepting sponsorships, brand deals, and collaborations with large companies. Among these endeavors, Joan and Chock have juggled complications with their long-distance dynamic, familial time, and physical health. Postponing the wedding will allow the couple to find their groove before committing to marriage. They will be glad they prioritized more pressing issues. The Golden Bachelorette stars have taken their fame and established names for themselves in the industry. Joan and Chock have graduated to influencer status on Instagram and TikTok. Their posts range from life updates to brand collaborations. The pair have profited heavily through paid sponsorships from large brands ranging from Gap to Aspercreme. When they aren't taking advantage of branded content, Joan and Chock post about their romantic lives. The couple frequently travels as Chock lives in Kansas and Joan lives in Maryland. Chock's latest Instagram post shows him and Joan exploring Wichita, Kansas together. This visit is one of many. Joan has flown to Chock's hometown on several occasions. Chock shared a video to his Instagram showing him and Joan attempting a TikTok video. The couple mouths the words to Price Tag by Jessie J while reenacting the lyrics. Joan and Chock seem to struggle hitting the beats, and Chock wrote, "Still getting used to this whole content thing." This behind-the-scenes look into their content creation not only humanizes the stars, but also reminds viewers that influencer careers are a newer concept. The idea of making money from video content is likely foreign to a well-established insurance executive like Chock. I'm convinced Joan and Chock's constant travels for their relationship in paid partnerships have left little time to plan the wedding. On top of these challenging circumstances, they are building their influencer careers. A large social media presence can be more challenging than it seems. The pair has to post frequently to maintain the public's attention and stay up to date regarding virality. They have a lot on their plate. Joan and Chock have been highly supportive of each other's endeavors, and when Chock needed eye surgery, Joan rushed to his aid. Chock spoke about the procedure and Joan's assistance throughout his recovery in an interview posted on both Joan and Chock's Instagram accounts. The star states, "Joan came in to take care of me," after revealing that his refractive lens replacement was done the same day as their interview. Joan pointed out this feat and called her fiancé a trooper for pushing through the discomfort and partial but temporary blindness. Chock seemed overjoyed to have Joan at his side. This surgery may be minimally invasive, but the subsequent blindness posed a problem for the budding influencer. Joan and Chock were kept busy in the hours and potentially days when the patient was rendered sightless. I think expecting any wedding planning during this restful weekend would be unreasonable. Their challenges have not been limited to their personal lives, as their children may have needed some convincing. Joan and Chock, as seniors entering a relationship after the passing of a partner, have received some familial pushback. The couple mentioned, in a since-deleted video posted around Thanksgiving, that they were having trouble integrating their families. Chock insisted that the get-together went great. And while Joan agreed, she suggested, "The family part is a little harder, right?" Chock glossed over the statement and changed the subject to their minor squabbles. Their adult children have grown accustomed to their parents' habits and traditions. The introduction of a new partner, especially after the loss of one, was undoubtedly difficult. It seemed like their families would never get along. Despite this, Joan and Chock came together again for Christmas. Love may bloom in golden years, but even seasoned hearts know when it's wise to hit the pause button. Joan Vassos and Chock Chapple, the stand-up golden couple from the Golden Bachelorette, have certainly captured America's affection. Her with her warm, radiant presence and him with his charming, gentlemanly demeanor that made even Joan's notoriously tough friends swoon. They danced under chandeliers, shared candlelit whispers, and made millions believe that yes, fairy tales can have a second chapter. But as the fantasy fades into the realities of life, I can't help but applaud them for putting their wedding on hold. Honestly, it's the smartest move they could make. Because let's be real, these two have a lot going on. First off, Joan has been thrust into a whirlwind. Becoming the first ever Golden Bachelorette skyrocketed her into national fame. She's now juggling interviews, public appearances, podcast invites, and a growing social media presence that doesn't sleep. Joan was a beloved mom and grandmother before, but now she's a certified icon for second-chance romantics. She's writing a memoir, a heart reclaimed, and collaborating on a line of self-care products inspired by her late-night bath confessions from the show. And did we mention she's fielding interest from networks for her own relationship advice show? Imagine Dr. Phil, but with more lavender and less yelling. Then there's Chock, sweet, steady Chock, who found himself unexpectedly famous at 70. Before the show, he was quietly running his community vineyard in Oregon, mentoring youth, and leading sunrise Tai Chi in the park. Now, he's dealing with business offers, branding opportunities. Yes, chock full of love, wine is in development, and people constantly stopping him in Trader Joe's asking, "Are you the guy who told Joan he'd moved to Chicago for love?" Fame isn't just flattering, it's exhausting. Beyond that, let's not forget the logistics of love later in life. Joan has deep roots on the East Coast. Her kids and grandkids live nearby, and she's actively involved in their lives. Sunday dinners, school pickups, and ballad recitals are part of her weekly rhythm. Chock, meanwhile, has built a serene, purpose-driven life out west. It's not just a place, it's his identity. Sure, he said he'd move for love, but even golden hearts can feel torn when it comes to uprooting their lives. And who can blame them? That's why postponing the wedding isn't about fear, it's about respect. Respect for their individual lives, their families, their ambitions, and the reality that love isn't just about grand gestures but sustainable choices. Besides, fast weddings are for Hallmark movies. Real love? That's in the waiting. The beauty of Joan and Chock is that they're not 20-somethings chasing dopamine highs or Instagram aesthetics. They've lived, they've lost, and they know that marriage isn't a final. It's a new act. Rushing into that act when they've just finished a very intense public performance might actually rob them of the peace they both seem to crave. Let's not forget the emotional weight Joan still carries. She lost her husband, the love of her life, and while she opened herself up to the possibility of new love with stunning grace, that kind of loss leaves echoes. She's spoken openly about wanting to honor her past while embracing her future, and sometimes that means walking slowly. No one wants to see her rush past her own healing just to wear a white dress on TV. And honestly, it's refreshing. In a world where Bachelor Nation is all too familiar with whirlwind engagements that crash faster than a Malibu wave, Joan and Chock's decision to not set a wedding date is the most radical kind of romance, the kind rooted in intention. They're still dating, still growing, still figuring out what it means to be us when you've already been meat for so long. And let's face it, being the first Golden Bachelorette couple to actually last would be a much bigger flex than having the most extravagant televised wedding. They could have cashed in, sponsors were ready. The network would have pulled out all the stops. But instead, they stepped back. They chose quiet dinners over choreographed ceremonies, weekend getaways over guest lists, and meaningful glances over marriage licenses, for now. Because here's the truth, Joan and Chock don't need a wedding to prove anything. They've already shown the world what hope looks like, what starting over looks like, what golden love looks like. So yes, I think they're smart. Brilliant, even, to put the wedding on hold. They have careers reblossoming, family obligations to navigate, and identities to honor. Love, real love, waits for all of that to align.